Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So today, let's dive into one of the most incredible narratives in the entire Quran. It's the story of Musa, or Moses, and his epic stand of pure faith against absolute, overwhelming tyranny. I want you to just think about that for a second. What if it was you, standing in front of the most powerful ruler on earth? A man who didn't just command armies, but actually declared himself to be God. What would you have to lean on? This question, it's right at the very heart of Musa's story. Okay, so let's set the scene. Our story begins in ancient Egypt, a land that was completely covered by the dark, suffocating shadow of its ruler, the Pharaoh. Now, the Quran describes this oppression, this zulm, and it's important to understand it wasn't just random cruelty. It was a cold, calculated system. Pharaoh intentionally divided his people against each other to keep his power, and he specifically targeted the children of Israel. He enslaved them, and then, in an act of unimaginable cruelty, he ordered that every single one of their newborn sons be killed. Why? All because he was terrified of a prophecy that one of these children would one day rise up and challenge his throne. So in this atmosphere of absolute terror, can you imagine being Musa's mother? And Allah inspires her with a command that goes against every single maternal instinct. She's told to nurse her baby, but when she fears for his life, she must place him in a basket and cast him into the river. She's told not to fear, not to grieve, because he'll be returned to her. I mean, think about that. It's an unbelievable act of surrendering to a divine plan that, to any human eye, looks like a death sentence. And this is where the divine plan is just so perfect, you can't help but marvel at it. The river doesn't carry the baby to some hidden, safe place. Nope, it delivers him right to the front door of the enemy. Pharaoh's own wife, Asya, finds the baby and convinces her husband to adopt him. And just like that, Musa, the boy prophesied to destroy Pharaoh, is raised as a prince in the very palace of the tyrant he is destined to confront. All right, so let's fast forward a bit. Years go by and Musa grows into a man. A tragic incident forces him to flee Egypt, but what looks like an escape from his destiny is actually the very path that's preparing him for it. So after accidentally killing an oppressor while defending one of his people, Musa becomes a fugitive. He escapes to the land of Madian, where he finds safety, starts a family, and spends years living the simple, humble life of a shepherd. Then, one night, traveling with his family, he sees something strange, a fire burning on the side of Mount Tor. He walks toward it, thinking he could maybe get some fire to warm his family or get directions. But when he gets to that fire, everything changes. A voice calls out to him from a bush that's completely engulfed in flames, but isn't burning up. And the voice says, "O Moses, indeed I am your Lord, so take off your shoes. You are in the sacred valley of Tuwa, and I have chosen you, so listen to what is revealed." This is it. This is the moment he becomes a prophet of God. And to prove this mission is real, Musa is given two undeniable signs. Allah asks him what's in his right hand. He says, "It's my staff." Allah tells him to throw it down, and suddenly his simple shepherd's staff transforms into a living, slithering snake. Then he's told to put his hand inside his cloak. When he pulls it out, it's shining with a brilliant white light, with no sickness at all. So now, armed with these two powerful miracles and a direct command from God himself, Musa has to do the unthinkable, go back to the kingdom he fled and stand up to the most powerful man on earth. And the mission couldn't be clearer. The command is simple and direct. Go to Pharaoh. Indeed, he has transgressed. There's no gray area here. Musa is being sent to confront injustice right at its very source. The confrontation that follows isn't really about politics or freedom. It's a fundamental clash between two completely different worldviews. On one side, you've got Pharaoh, who tells his court, "O nobles, I know of no God for you other than me." His power is built on that lie. And on the other side, you have Musa, whose message just shatters that arrogance. Our Lord is he who gave everything its existence and then guided it. But Pharaoh just laughs it off. He refuses to listen. So in response, Allah sends a whole series of plagues on Egypt as clear, undeniable signs. A massive flood, swarms of locusts, infestations of lice, hordes of frogs, and even turning the Nile's water into blood. And each time a plague hits, Pharaoh panics. He begs Musa to pray to God to stop it, and he promises he'll believe and let the people go. But every single time the plague is lifted, his heart hardens again, and he breaks his promise. After years of this back and forth, Allah finally gives the command. Musa is to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt in the middle of the night. But of course, Pharaoh isn't going to let his entire slave workforce just walk away. He gathers his whole army and races after them. Can you even imagine this scene? The children of Israel finally reach the edge of the Red Sea. In front of them, a giant, impassable body of water. Behind them, the dust clouds of Pharaoh's chariots getting closer every second. It's a trap. His people cry out in total fear. We are going to be overtaken. I mean, logically, it's over. There is no way out. And it's in this exact moment, this moment of absolute, total despair, where all human logic fails, that the real test of faith truly begins. But just look at Musa's response. While everyone else sees certain death, he sees divine certainty. He cries out, Kalla, which means absolutely not. He says, indeed, with me is my Lord, he will guide me. That is a declaration of complete and total trust in the face of impossible odds. And then it happens. Allah tells him, strike the sea with your staff. And this incredible miracle unfolds. The Red Sea splits right down the middle, creating a dry path on the seabed. The Quran describes the water on each side standing up like a great towering mountain. Just incredible. So the children of Israel rush across to safety, and Pharaoh, blinded by his own rage and arrogance, charges right in after them with his entire army. But as soon as the last of the believers makes it to the other side, the walls of water come crashing down, drowning the tyrant and every single one of his soldiers. The oppression is over, and justice prevails. Now, this is way more than just a great story from history. It is packed with timeless lessons that are just as powerful for us today as they were back then. So, what do we take away from all this? Well, the story gives us real strategies for our own lives. It teaches us about moral courage, that standing up to what's wrong starts with your own conviction. It shows us the kind of resilience you can have when you have a clear purpose. And it demonstrates the power of having radical trust in a higher plan, especially when logic says you should fail. Justice, compassion, community, these aren't just nice ideas. They're the tools for overcoming any obstacle. And this might be the most powerful takeaway of all. In your own life, whenever you feel trapped, when you feel like you've got an impossible sea in front of you and an army at your back, remember this story. Remember that with true faith, Allah can open up a path for you where your eyes see no way forward. And we'll end with a beautiful supplication, the prayer that Musa himself made when he was first given this huge, impossible-seeming task. It's a prayer for strength, for clarity, and for ease in whatever trials we face. Rabbi ishrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. My Lord, expand for me my chest, and ease for me my task.